The next 1 billion years. If human civilization had existed, how far will it go? Year 2030. Musk's Mars colonization plan has officially begun. Send the first astronauts to Mars and complete the landing. After humans landed on the moon, the second exoplanet to be set foot on 2050. With the continuous improvement of the global communications satellite network, all vehicles are fully driverless. Passengers only need voice commands. Reach your destination. The driver industry will become history. In 2080, vacuum tubes. Hyperloop completed and started business operations. Top speed up to 10,000 kilometers per hour. From Beijing to New York in just 1 hour. Make people's way of life. Something big has happened. 100 years later, with the breakthrough of ultra-high-strength materials such as nanotubes, the first space elevator has been put into operation. Countries are using jet to transport large amounts of supplies, enabling a massive expansion of the space station. At the same time, the average passenger only costs $100,000. You can experience a space trip in an elevator. After 500 years, through gene editing technology and other technologies, combination of bioengineering, humans have successfully created nanorobots. Not only can it detect and repair damage inside the human body, it can also defeat various viruses with extremely high mortality rates, and human mortality dropped dramatically. The average lifespan can reach 100 years. 800 years later, the world's population has peaked at 10 billion. To solve the unprecedented food crisis, a large number of artificial foods began to appear and spread. This led to traditional animal husbandry and fishing, gradually eliminated. 900 years later, due to issues such as lack of resources and cultural conflicts, it gets worse. Local small-scale nuclear war began to break out. It took decades for the war to subside. But the global population 10 billion, directly reduced to 6 billion, indirectly solved the population problem. 1,000 years later, as most of the Earth's resources are approaching exhaustion, to solve the energy crisis, the first controllable nuclear fusion device in human history, and we started using them, and extract a steady stream of energy from seawater. Technology has also begun to advance rapidly. 2,000 years later, nations began to develop the moon on a large scale, utilize the rich internal reserves of high fusion to provide energy, and with the establishment of a lunar base, humans have reached the level of first-class civilization, has the ability to expand like the other planets in the solar system. 5,000 years later, humans have discovered the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations for the first time. The secrets of the little gray man were also released. Prove that humans, it is not the only civilization in the universe, and in order to prevent alien civilizations from invading the Earth, the federal government was established. 10,000 years later, genetic modification 2.0 project officially launched. By constantly modifying human genetic characteristics, a new species, a new humanity, was born. Not only does the human body far outperform existing species, lifespan can even reach 200 years. 100,000 years later, due to the solar system, all planetary energy has been tapped. To solve the huge energy crisis, United Nations successfully built the first Dyson sphere. This feat, it also marks that humanity has entered a second-level civilization. 200,000 years later, the first sublight spacecraft was successfully built. It can reach speeds up to 10% of the speed of light, enabling humans to achieve a small scale, the ability to explore galaxies. 500,000 years later, the first time machine was successfully developed. Through holographic projection technology, you can look back at any moment in history, so that all the remains of civilization can be deciphered one by one. Human cognition has greatly improved. 1 million years later, the Mars transformation plan is finally completed. Become a brand new habitable planet. Humans are beginning to migrate in large numbers to Mars and are prepared to live and thrive here for 10 million years. Posthuman research on consciousness received a historic breakthrough. We started the Digital Life Project. Make all consciousness and memory can be stored in the computer, and they achieve a kind of immortality. 100 million years later, Star Wars begins. Alien civilizations nearly lynxing start invading the solar system. With the joint efforts of human scientists, finally created a weapon that resembles a water droplet, destroy the invading alien enemy in one fell swoop. 500 million years later, the successful development of warp drive, humans have finally achieved faster than light flight and enter the third level civilization. Lots of warp drive ships start traveling back and forth in the universe to find a new home. Eventually, 1 billion years later, as the sun expanded, gradually became a red giant, then Earth and Mars will no longer meet the conditions for habitation. And where will humans be then?